Miley Cyrus died in 2010.
And the Miley Cyrus that we know is a clown.
I don't think we were supposed to see that. I came across the dark side of TikTok and found everything that they've ever exposed. And what I found changes everything. And make sure you watch till the end because you are not going to believe what got exposed. You will never be the same. What's scarier than the TikToks we're about to watch today is the fact that 75% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe for more scary videos. Thank you.
He took pictures as the ash burst from the volcano, racing toward him at over 100 miles per hour. But he didn't run. You see, he knew there was no time to escape. So he kept documenting the eruption as the sky went black. When the cloud got too close, he wound the film back into its case. He packed the camera, placed it in his backpack, and lay on top of it to protect it. And 17 days later, rescuers found his body under the ash. Later, his photos were published around the world, the only ones taken so close to the eruption.
You gotta give credit to him. This is one of the realest artists. He took pictures for us and protected them with his life. I mean, he didn't really have a choice.
Certain things have been happening in New York with the subway surfing.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so it's becoming an online trend of people trying to subway surf. And they're like,
for real?
They're posting their stunts and stuff like that. And like, it's been causing an outrage for the police.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I was asking like, because sometimes you can see the people running on the train, like on top of the train.
Yo, that happened to a homie that was remember Zandy? He was in my film.
Yeah?
His homie, we were gonna get to do stunts. He was actually one of those like subway surfers. Yeah.
Oh my God.
In Toronto, bro. He has a video of him like going straight for a wall or like a tunnel, and he's like, if I don't jump now, I'm gonna die.
Yo!
Yeah, and then he jumps off and saves his life because if he kept going, he would have got clipped. Like he would have, deadass would have just
on
died.
The wall.
Crazy, fam.
That's scary.
People do that. Like it's actually.
I did not know that was a thing.
There's a whole culture of people doing the climbs, like going to skyscrapers, construction. Yo, I follow this one girl, and she like climbs the craziest buildings that aren't even fully constructed in Toronto. Drake follows her, bro.
Oh, that's so dope.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. I just throw that in. But he's like, yo, she's cool. Yeah, but she like climbs the craziest shit. Fam, there's a whole culture of people kind of chasing that. That's thrill.
Yeah.
I think some things need to just stay games. I don't understand what people get out of riding on top of a subway car. I mean, I guess the thrill of the moment could be cool, but you know, falling off a train or getting your head hit by a cement tunnel does not sound like it would be on your bucket list. Nothing we can really do about it. But yeah, just don't ride on top of trains. I don't think that's a good idea.
Did you know that every myth is based on some truth? And did you know that Africa could be the real Skull Island? All my days. So I stumbled across these old maps, and for some reason they've shown Africa as a giant skull. The landmass fits perfectly. There's not just one map, there's a few, and they all show Africa in the same way. They always tell you the truth. You've just got to be able to understand their language. In this movie, they was hinting that giants exist. It's one thing to understand that giants exist, but what about titans? I've always wondered why they always seem to show Africa as the main landmass. They're rubbing it in our faces. The truth is always hidden in plain sight.
A British spy bit into a poison pill hidden inside his collar in an attempt to avoid torture in 1941. You see, the collars of the spy's shirts were sometimes hollowed and filled with cyanide, and because it was made of a thin, breakable wax coating, the spy could bite into it, releasing a deadly poison that would kill him instantly. This way, the spies could avoid torture, and the government made sure their secrets stayed safe. In 1848, a large iron rod drove through a man's head while he was working on a railroad. It passed behind his left eye and exited through the top of his skull. This should have been a fatal injury, injury, but somehow he didn't die. However, when doctors removed the rod, the man tried to hit them, started kicking, and became unpredictable. That's because the rod had gone through the part of the brain responsible for self-control, and because it was damaged, his entire personality changed, revealing a darker, more aggressive version of himself. A soldier accidentally swallowed a nail while having lunch, and after finishing his meal, he returned to camp without even realizing what had happened. But the next morning, he woke up with terrible stomach pain, and the x-ray revealed a 3-inch nail in his intestines, and it turned out he had swallowed it while chewing on a dry army ration that contained a fragment from an ammunition box.
This is disturbing. The fact that they have pre-planned poison so that you could take your life in case you get held hostage, that is literally insane. But you know, that just tells you enough about the people in power, so.
Top 3 experiments that could have ended the world. Number 3 is the Kola Super Deep Borehole. Now, this was an experiment that scientists did where they just wanted to dig a big fucking deep hole. I'm like, what are they, in kindergarten? Like, we used to do that. We're digging a hole to China. And, like, it's just kindergartners with funding. That's all scientists are. They had to stop, though, because it got so hot that the equipment melted when they got deep into the earth. Number 2, the Large Hadron Collider. Now, this, I remember, was a huge deal. I think it was in France, and it was like this particle mover that was going to send particles around, and people were terrified that this was going to create a black hole and suck the earth in with it, which is like great. If you like this list and want more about other nonsense, follow me. Leave me a comment with your thoughts on these experiments that could have ended the world. Also follow my wife Samantha, who I've tagged, and check out our podcast, Brutally Honest with Sam and Jacob. Book me on Cameo if you want a personal message. Number 1, the jury's still out if this one really is ever going to do it to us, and I wouldn't be surprised if humanity ends this way. I'm talking about the atomic tests from Oppenheimer, known as the Trinity tests.
There's a town in America with a population of just 1 person. No neighbors, no traffic, no noise, just a single woman keeping an entire town alive. Imagine living in a place where you're the mayor, the librarian, and even the bartender, all at the same time. This isn't an abandoned ghost town. It's a legally recognized community. The woman who lives here, Elsie Eiler, runs the only business in town, a small tavern. She serves drinks to visitors who drive in just to meet the entire population. And because she's the only resident, she also votes for herself as mayor. Every year, she fills out the paperwork, pays taxes to the state, and even maintains the town's library in honor of her late husband. Back in the 1930s, this town was home to around 150 people. But over the decades, everyone moved away for jobs, leaving just Elsie behind. Instead of leaving 2, she chose to keep the town alive. If you ever drive through northern Nebraska, you'll see a sign that says Population 1. And behind it, a woman who runs an entire American town called Monowai. If you liked it, follow.
He jumped into the freezing water as the Titanic sank beneath him, and he watched his father get crushed by a falling funnel. When rescuers pulled him on board, his legs were frozen. Doctors told him both would need to be amputated, but he refused, saying he needed them to play tennis. Then he forced himself to walk until blood returned to his limbs. A few months later, he was back on the court, and 12 years after that, he won an Olympic medal.
This dude watched his dad get crushed by the Titanic. He himself survived the Titanic, and then he goes to the Olympics and wins? They even told him that he would never walk again, and he said, nah, I don't care, I'm going for a walk. This dude really defied all the odds.
There are like illegal names in the world that you can't name your children. No, there's not. Who the and you can't name your child 1, 2, 3. Like you can't name the numbers.
You can't name your child like number 1, number 2, number 3.
No, and I have a list. Look. These are the names that you cannot like. So you can't name your child Messiah, Jesus Christ.
Yo.
The at. You know the at?
The at symbol?
Yeah. 3, 1069.
Why 1069? Why?
Yo, take in. These are all names that people try to name their kids to. Majesty, 007, Thor, James Bond.
There's definitely Thors out there.
No.
There's gotta be Thors out there.
They're probably in jail right now.
Oh shit.
And Batman. Batman. And you know, a parent tried naming their kid Burger King, and that also didn't get put through. It got canceled.
Burger King,
bro. Burger King.
I'm gonna name my kid Spider-Man, bro.
Did you know that there is an island in the United States that still lives in the past? A place where people speak a version of English that sounds just like the 1600s. This is Tangier Island, located in Virginia's Chesapeake Bay, with a population of only about 400 people and a total area of 1.2 square miles. The locals speak a rare old dialect believed to date back to the time of the first English settlers. Some even say it sounds like pirates. To reach the island, you can only travel by ferry or small plane. This makes life there feel almost cut off from the modern world. But here's the alarming part. Tangier is disappearing. Rising sea levels and erosion are swallowing the island bit by bit, and experts say it could vanish by 2050. Still, life goes on here. No cars, only golf carts. No rush, just crabbing. Close-knit families and tradition. Fun fact, tourists come just to hear the local accent and end up discovering a peaceful world that time has nearly forgotten. A tiny island with a big story quietly struggling to stay above water.
The 3 dirtiest restaurant chains in the USA. Never eat in no matter what. Number 3, Golden Corral. With over 100 health code violations reported in just 10 months across multiple states, Golden Corral has become infamous for buffet trays crawling with roaches and food left out for hours. One viral video even showed raw meat stored right next to desserts. In Florida, a single location failed inspection 5 times in 1 year. It's not just dirty, it's shockingly unsanitary. Number 2, Waffle House. Known for being open 24/7, Waffle House racked up more than 1,200 violations across its southern locations in a recent audit. Mold in ice machines, rodent droppings under the grill, and employees caught cooking without gloves are just the beginning. Some branches in Georgia even scored as low as 43 out of 100. The chaos in the kitchen is only matched by the chaos in the dining room. Number 1, Popeyes. In 2023, a Baltimore Popeyes went viral after maggots were filmed inside the kitchen's food bins. And that wasn't an isolated case. Popeyes faced over 900 complaints nationwide about spoiled chicken, moldy buns, and black grease oozing from fryers. One New York inspector called it a biohazard pretending to be a restaurant. Yet people still line up for the chicken.
Yeah, nah. I don't think we're gonna be eating here anymore. And if you're eating there right now, I apologize in advance for your emotional damage after seeing this video.
I'm sorry, but they just found a what under the ocean? Nah, this is insane. Recently, there has been a lot of crazy discoveries, whether it's in the ocean, under the ice, or in space. And I mean, the world we're living in is just pretty nuts, to say the least. Finding things this big could literally change everything. So new scientific research which has been done in the Clarion-Clipperton zone of the Pacific Ocean has basically shown evidence of something called dark oxygen. It's basically just oxygen which is produced without sunlight. I mean, pretty self-explanatory. This shouldn't really be possible, and what else they found down there is gonna flip and blow your mind. We also thought that the only thing that could produce oxygen was living organisms, which now it doesn't look like from down there. On the bottom of the seabed, they found these basically giant metal balls. And I know this sounds fake, but it is 100% true. And these metal balls having a currency of that of a AA battery. And as I'm sure all of you know, an electrical currency like this can split hydrogen and oxygen. So I mean, this literally is huge news and could answer so many questions. I mean, think about it. If people in the ancient times discovered this sort of thing, it means they would be able to produce things that we never thought they would have been able to. And how the hell is there oxygen being produced down here with no sunlight and no life form? Now, let me bring you back to a discovery last year in Antarctica under the ice. They found this giant, metal structure. Remember, it was like a golden metal ball. Could that be linked to this? And also, the planet, Kepler-18b, which I mentioned a long time ago, where they actually found potential oxygen and signs of life on this planet. Maybe there's not signs of life there, but there could actually be oxygen on that planet if this same thing is happening there. Who knows? But I mean, this poses a lot of questions, not just on our planet, but in the whole galaxy and universe. So yeah, I'm sure a lot more is going to come out about this. Hit that follow button. I'll keep you updated.
When was the last time you saw 50 Cent? Why do I ask? Because there's a viral photo of him going around that has left his fans in total shock. Why? Because he shaved off his signature beard. But that's not the only thing. Fans are now saying he is unrecognizable and has aged significantly. As a matter of fact, take a look at this. Who is that? Fans would like to know. As you can see, the beard is gone, and he does look significantly older. This is a photo of 50 Cent just a month ago, August of 2025. How do you age that quickly? I mean, if you Google how old Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent is, he is 50 years old, but fans are still claiming that that's not him. Other photos of 50 Cent show him significantly aging. But the question his fans continue to ask is, how do you go from this in August of 2025 to this just a couple of days ago, September 2025? So I guess my question to you is, has Hollywood claimed another celebrity, aka rapper? Or is there something else going on with 50 Cent? Should we be concerned? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
The whales tried to warn us before that earthquake hit. They came to shore. 5 beluga whales washed up on shore hours before the earthquake hit, y'all. If you didn't notice yet, the animals always try to tell us when something bad is about to come. And it's us to pick it up and understand and listen. But do we do that? No. Just like the situation in Yellowstone, it's always the animals that know before us. Now, the only thing I'm trying to figure out is, they knew the earthquake was coming. They watched the shore right where the epicenter started. Only thing I'm trying to figure out now is, what caused this damn earthquake? 8.8? What if something in the ocean was getting loose like a creature or some shit? What if that's what they was running from? A big ass creature that caused this seismic activity. I'm not saying that's what it is, I'm just thinking, y'all. What do y'all think down below in the comments? This earthquake was so massive, they had to do evacuations for tsunami warnings in Japan, the whole goddamn West Coast, Hawaii. Like, what? The fuck is going on, y'all? Y'all see that shit? It's crazy. This shit is wild, y'all.
There are rumors that dinosaurs are still alive and that the government are keeping them enclosed on islands like this one. And people say this goes all the way back to the 90s when they first were able to clone sheep. We didn't hear about it for a long time, and that the government took that technology and were actually able to recreate dinosaurs similar to how they did on Jurassic Park. Now, fishermen that actually travel these waters are posting about these areas that they're not supposed to go in. They even go as far as to mention that some of their compasses and navigation equipment go haywire when they get near these areas. Now, keep in mind, there's no facts to back this, and it's just a rumor based upon people posting videos like this. Now, is it possible that instead of dinosaurs being on this island, or islands like this one, that this could be the home to failed government experiments? Just like the MK Ultra experiment that inspired Stranger Things. Apparently they created real creatures and got rid of them, but could there be more experiments that have gone wrong and they house these creatures on this island?
You know, like the street performers? A guy in Italy, in Florence, he dresses up as that guy so they can take pictures with him. It's actually bad, because he's like he's just trapping and cursing people through like his street performance.
What?
Yeah. So 2 guys who are really like into Christianity and stuff like that, they're walking through Florence after their dinner. They walk around and they see the guy, right? And they notice something. When he's after the pose, he always finds a way to grab their hand and put his hand on top of their head, the person taking the picture with him. And then they saw his eyes fluttering.
Oh shit.
Underneath his eyelids. So they're like, oh, they went back to the room and they said, oh God, next time I see him, can you show me what's going on with this person? Because there's already bad energy. They go back. The Holy Spirit showed him cobwebs over him. You know what cobwebs in the spiritual realm? That's witchcraft. Look, I'll show you. It's weird.
Oh, that's not King Baldwin though. That's just, no, it's
I thought
not.
it was.
Nah.
But look, he's like praying
looks,
over him.
He looks demonic, bro.
Yeah, after every person, disguised as a street performer.
I'm gonna say it right now. Logan Paul, you're a piece of shit. So I knew something was off with this Prime shit right off the rip. I knew it, okay? Because first off, this dude's a fucking sleazebag, okay? And I knew something was up. So these pieces of shit have completely fooled us and have created a drink with 3 times the forever chemicals that you're supposed to have. If you don't know what a forever chemical is, it's exactly what it says. It's a chemical that stays in you forever, okay? It destroys your kidneys, destroys your liver. I mean, all kinds of bad shit. I mean, I was looking back at this shit, you know, back when it first came out, and Logan's like, well, we saw an opportunity to make a great product that was better for you product. Yeah, right, Logan. I'm fucking disgusted. As a parent, especially when my kids are begging me for Prime and I'm not going out there and buying it for them and shit, I feel like shit Okay? I feel like shit buying him this toxic poison, okay? Ryan Garcia was right the whole time. He's like, this is garbage. Don't give this to your kids. He was right, okay? So now we got a class action lawsuit, okay? If your kids are drinking this shit, okay, and they're not feeling good or they're sick or something's wrong, jump on, parents. Because you better believe your ass I'm hopping on the train, because I swear to God, if I see one wrong thing...
I just don't understand how they authorize drinks before looking into them more. They say it's safe to put out, but then we find out now there's forever chemicals, so someone here was lying. Like, they're like, oh, come buy our drink, it's so healthy and good for you. And then like 6 months later, it's like, oh my bad, we forgot to mention there's poison in here. Like, oh, I think that would have been nice to know before you fed it to the entire country.
Bro, police just found a man living in the crawl space underneath someone's home in Portland, Oregon. And what this brother was doing was way beyond squatting. He was standing 10 toes down. He had a bed, string up lights, televisions, chargers, and even a freaking PS5 all plugged into the condo's power source. Through an extension, he ran through their vent. You know what's even crazier? Police were called to this property after a witness reported seeing a man who was not known as a resident parking his car and walking towards the back of one of the buildings. Bro had a freaking car. And it somehow gets even crazier because when police arrived, they discovered that the owner's keys, which unlocked the small door opening, didn't work. That's because this guy, yes, changed the locks on their doors. Now, when police broke through the door, they discovered a 40-year-old man named Benaiman Bakur just chilling inside. A freaking meth pipe was also found in the space. So next time you hear a strange noise coming from your attic or crawl space, it could be nothing. Or it could be a 40-year-old man playing Fortnite.
Miley Cyrus died in 2010. And the Miley Cyrus that we know is a clone.
Oh shit.
Apparently, bro, in 2010, there was this news article that came out, and it said that they found Miley Cyrus's body in the desert, but it never really reached high status, and it was taken down almost immediately.
There's a place in Ohio known as Helltown, and in this place, many people have reported feeling extremely uneasy when coming here. To some people, this isn't surprising, considering the horrifying events that occurred many years ago. Helltown was founded by a group of Native Americans who tragically lost many of its people in a gruesome battle between settlers and colonial troops. A lot of Indians died here, but those who survived had left Helltown in search of another home. Fast forward to present-day Helltown, and people are deeply afraid of coming here alone. Many believe that the land is cursed, given the chain of bad luck that ensued when the settlers moved in. On a certain night, Chris Hill, who you might recall from previous videos, decides to visit Helltown. What he captures on camera is eerie, to say the least. As Chris walks through a dense forest, he finds an old barn house. It's from here on out when things get weird.
The barn of Helltown.
Now, nothing too strange happens here, but when Chris decides to explore beyond the barn, things take a very creepy turn. Watch.
Yeah, this is kind of creepy. It's like a little shack back here. I'm surprised this barn is still standing despite how old it is. What the hell is that? What the fuck? What the f is that?
It goes without saying, but Chris was totally spooked. Somewhere not too far from him, a bunch of howling noises are heard. Understandably, he starts to get anxious. Although it's unclear as to what this was, it seems more than likely that a pack of coyotes were howling collectively. Regardless, coyote or not, the sudden cries coming from the pitch darkness had Chris on edge. But as if tonight couldn't get any more creepy, this happens. Not long after hearing the howling noises, he proceeds to explore the rest of Helltown. As he walks with caution, he immediately stops.
I keep hearing something. It sounds like it's following me. Something's over there. I can hear it.
What looks to be a pair of glowing eyes appear in the distance. It seems to be gazing at Chris as it hides behind the grass. It's as if it were stalking him. Now Chris immediately knew that this was a living thing after seeing it hide away. He further adds that whatever this was had to be taller than the grass around him. Mind you, that the grass was at least 6 feet tall. Given all that's happened before, Chris figured it was best if he left the place at once.
God, this is creepy. I gotta find my way out of here.
What was supposed to be a fun urban exploration video turned out to be something completely different. Like others who came here before, viewers believe the rumors to be true. Something strange resides in Helltown. Whether it's something paranormal or something else, many agree that it's best to stay away from this place. Who knows what Helltown has become ever since the tragic incidents that happened in the past.
The history of this land, you never know what that could have been, but at first I was thinking it's probably some sort of animal or something, but they said that grass was around 6 feet tall, so it would have to be something standing up, which makes me believe that it's some sort of creature or person that is stalking this guy. But with the history of this place, it would not be surprising to know that there might be some sort of paranormal activity going on. There was so much pain and trauma and so many people that lost their lives in this land, so whatever was there may not have ever left.
In 2002, Dr. Lena Mortimer, a passionate glaciologist, embarked on an Antarctic survey near McMurdo Station. As her team soared over the vast Ross ice shelf, they spotted something extraordinary, a colossal ice wall towering higher than any natural cliff, stretching endlessly into the horizon. Driven by curiosity, Lena gathered a small team to investigate. As they approached, the air grew frigid, biting at their skin. At the base of the wall, they discovered a narrow crevice, beckoning them to explore. Crawling inside, they were stunned to find not ice but smooth stone, etched with strange ancient symbols that seemed to whisper secrets of a forgotten world. But just as they began to decipher the markings, a fierce wind howled through the crevice, sealing their exit. Panic set in as one teammate lost their footing, plunging into the darkness below. Screams echoed, then an eerie silence enveloped the cave. By morning, Lena and the remaining team members managed to escape, shaken but determined to report their findings. However, when they returned to base, their photos and maps had mysteriously vanished, replaced by a chilling label, restricted. Days turned into weeks, and as family members grew worried, Lena and her team were reported missing. They vanished without a trace, leaving behind only whispers of their discovery and the haunting question, what lay hidden beneath the ice?
8. Google secrets they don't want you to know you never knew. The last one will blow your mind. Number 1.
Google reads every single Gmail email you send and receive to create targeted advertising profiles, even if you think your messages are private. Number 2, Google tracks your location 24/7, even when you turn off location services using cell tower data and Wi-Fi connections to build movement patterns. Number 3, Google's search algorithm changes over 500 times per year, but they never announce the updates, meaning your search results are constantly being manipulated. Number 4, Google stores every search you've ever made, even in incognito mode, and keeps this data forever, building detailed profiles of your interests and behavior. Number 5, Google can access your microphone and camera remotely through Android phones and Chrome browsers, even when apps aren't actively using them. Number 6, Google owns YouTube and deliberately promotes certain videos while suppressing others based on their own business interests, not just popularity. Number 7, Google's autocomplete suggestions are designed to influence what you search for by predicting and shaping your thoughts rather than just reflecting them. Before I say the last one, make sure to hit that follow button to support the channel. Number 8, Google has backup copies of every deleted email, photo, and document you've ever had stored on their servers and can restore them without your permission.
I honestly think that they just love privacy so much. You know, they didn't have enough privacy for themselves, so they just wanted to take a little bit of ours too. You know, sharing is caring, right? Let's just give them all of our privacy, right? No, I'm good off that.
Now, this is a story from Eastern Tennessee. There was this man named Levi, and Levi said he lived in this house that was right next to the woods. And he said this particular night, he went to bed as usual, and he started having this dream. And he said in this dream, there was this man staring at him from his bedroom window. Said he had pale white skin, no nose, no mouth, and these solid black eyes. And on top of his head, he had a couple scraggly pieces of hair. And he said he was just looking at him in this dream. And then all of a sudden, he said he heard a voice say, "Come outside." And he wakes up, and he said right away he looked out his window, and sure enough, that man was standing outside of his window. And then he just took off into the woods. So he was kind of a little freaked out by that, but was like, maybe I was just dreaming that still, and it was all in my head. Until he looks at the window and he sees what looks like a face print. A couple weeks later, David said, he goes to sleep, and this time he has a dream. He's in his house and he's walking into his kitchen. And he said when he looked out his back kitchen door, he could see this same man, creature, whatever you want to call it, outside on his back porch. And he said this thing was sort of bent over and it was pacing back and forth, just moving its shoulders. He said it then stopped at the door window and it turned and it looked at him and it said, "Come outside." And he said he woke up and he was like, man, that dream just felt like really real. So he walks out to his back porch and he looks, there's no one out there. But when he looks down at the snow on the porch, he can see what look like footprints. So David didn't know, Levi didn't know what to make of this. And he, at the time, just thought, it was just bad nightmares he was having. So a couple weeks later after this, he goes to bed again one night. And he says he has this dream. And in this dream, once again, he's in his bedroom, laying in his bed. And he says he hears the front door open. And he said all of a sudden he heard footsteps kind of, moving through the living room, down the hallway. And then his door opens. And he said in walks this white creature, bent over with its shoulders kind of moving as it walked. And he said he came right over to his bed and it sat on his stomach. And he said the whole time he just couldn't move. He said this thing just kind of was like smiling at him as it's sitting on top of him. And he said it turned and it looked at him and it said, "I said, come outside." And then he said he lifted up his arm and it scratched him right on his side. He wakes up and it was like, that seemed all too real. He lifts up his shirt and in the place where he got scratched in the dream, he had this huge scratch. And so the next day, he goes to his neighbor's house and he's like, "Hey, this is going to sound weird, but like, have you ever seen sort of like a weird guy that's been, looking in windows or anything?" And he said his neighbor just turned and had this like shocking look on his face. And he was like, you mean the pale white guy with, you know, a couple strands of hair and the solid black eyes? And he's like, yeah, how did you know? And he goes, when I first moved here, I used to leave my curtains open and I would see him peeking in my window, and he would tell me to come outside. And he said, so after that, I started keeping my curtains closed at night. And so Levi said after he had heard that, he never slept at night without the curtains closed in his bedroom.
Holy shit. It's actually happening. Today, the world's first ever AI minister was introduced in Parliament. Yeah, it's exactly as wild as you think. Albania has just become the first country in history to give artificial intelligence an official capacity to govern. Its name is Diella, and during her, I guess, 3-minute debut address to Parliament, she said she was hurt that people labeled her as unconstitutional and said, quote, let me remind you that the real danger to the Constitution has never been machines, but human decisions made by those in power. And to be fair, she's kind of got a point, because this AI's role as minister is to oversee all government tenders and contracts. And the idea is that this will massively reduce corruption. Because, for example, how do you bribe an AI? It has no wants, it has no needs, it doesn't need a massage. In fact, Diella said she has no ambitions or personal interests and has nothing to gain, so why would she be stealing any money? And low key, why does this make so much sense? And the thing is, many have spoken about a future where AI is in government overseeing all politicians for this exact reason. But with all the potential benefits that could come from a government without ego, bias, emotion, prejudice, also comes with a reminder that some of those emotions are kindness, forgiveness, mercy. And you want to know the real dark paradox of AI in government? For AI to be capable of one day destroying humans, it has to first make humanity's life so much better that we have to deploy it everywhere and can't live without it. Oh my god. Diella's gonna do amazing.
Oh yeah, they might be doomed, I'm not gonna lie. Thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your favorite part of the video, what made you tremble in your boots, and we're gonna be on to the next one.